You know, up until today, the best movie I saw this year about a giant lizard monster trying to destroy all of your hopes and dreams was the Super Mario movie. But now, I don't give a fuck about Bowser because Godzilla was so good. My only intention of making this video is to just talk about what a good time I had in the movie theater today and hopefully convince at least one person to go see Godzilla Minus One in theaters. For anyone not familiar, this is a Japanese Godzilla movie in theaters right now for a short period of time, and for me, it might be best movie of the year, tied with The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti. On one hand, you have Paul Giamatti being kind of an old crump on Christmas time. On the other hand, you have the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen. I haven't seen that many Godzilla films, but what I can say is that this is undeniably way better than any of the American Godzilla films we've gotten for the last 10 years. I think we can all agree that there's a lot of fatigue with modern blockbuster films, and most franchise movies are sort of products rather than works of art. There have been exceptions which are universally agreed upon, like The Dark Knight, which people just herald as being a really artistic, entertaining, amazing film worthy of Oscar discussion. And since then, there's been some other movies like The Batman with Robert Pattinson, Logan with Hugh Jackman, and within the MCU, like, some people will, say that, like, Infinity War and Endgame have a lot more effort put into them than the rest of the franchise. Godzilla is the best blockbuster/major franchise character movie I have seen in many years. Maybe one of the best I have ever seen. Maybe it's way up there with The Dark Knight. Now, to be fair, I have not seen 2016's Shin Godzilla, which is also met with a lot of acclaim, so I don't really have the credentials to compare it to that. But what I will say is what I just watched was amazing. One of my big problems with 2014's Godzilla film from America is that, I just did not give a fuck about anything unless I was looking at Godzilla. They kill Bryan Cranston in the beginning, and then the rest of the movie, you're just kind of stuck with Aaron Taylor Johnson. You're stuck with Kick-Ass, and he's just kind of country hopping to wherever Godzilla is. So you're like, okay, we're gonna go with the protagonist over here because Godzilla's over here now, and you just don't give a fuck about any of it. At best, you're shown that he has a wife and a kid and a house, and you're like, yeah, American ideals, yeah, Western family conventions, yay. And that's all you're given really to give a fuck about this guy. This is not that. Godzilla Minus One is a film where if you took Godzilla as a character and a concept out of the movie entirely, you are still left with an amazing movie. The way they did this was just writing a really compelling script about human characters, and they just perform their asses off. The actors are amazing, and they just made a really compelling film. I almost said what the characters are or who they are in this story, but I really don't want to. I think that if you can just believe me or anyone or the trailer on the idea that this is just an amazing human story that happens to also be about Godzilla, you won't be disappointed. The cinematography was great. The music was deeply emotional, and seeing it in a giant theater like the Harkins Cine Capri, I could feel the rumblings of the music and Godzilla's screeches on my back as the sound vibrated, and it just simply was a big screen experience. Like all good movies, this will be good at home, but I cannot express enough how much better this will be in a theater or a Cine Capri XL or an IMAX setting. My God, I'm definitely going to see this again. And it just really reminds me how if we approach all films like art, like something that you want your audience to emotionally connect to, how much better the film turns out, how much more iconic it is, how much longer people will continue to watch it for years to come. And this is just now one of my favorite blockbuster movies, whether you consider it an action movie, a war movie, a monster movie. This was one of the best of those I have seen. And sure, maybe I have not explored enough of these genres, maybe I haven't even watched enough foreign cinema, and so maybe some movie people will raise an eyebrow at me and think that they weren't as impressed as I am if they watch this video. But personally, I think this is one of the best movies of the year, maybe my top two with The Holdovers. For this entire year, the cinema that I have been the most impressed with has been television. I thought Netflix's Beef, Cartoon Network's Adventure Time Fiona and Cake, and now Invincible Season 2. These have been the things I've been really excited about. And I feel like I've been really fortunate that I have gotten to see movies like The Holdovers, Oppenheimer, etc. But Godzilla Minus One was amazing. I think about when Bong Joon-ho said that if you get over the 2-inch high hurdle of having to read subtitles, you will enter a world of amazing, amazing movies. And I gotta say, if anybody can get over the fact that they're gonna have to listen to Japanese acting and read subtitles and go see a foreign film, because I know that for some people that is a roadblock to not wanting to go see something, they're gonna see an amazing movie. This was super, super good. It's very ironic that the trailer for Kong and Godzilla 2 just came out. And to be honest, I had fun during the first one of that. I found it to be a fun B-movie romp. You're watching monsters and explosions, etc. But I don't really think about that movie anymore. This is a movie I'm gonna think about because of the acting, the human storytelling, the music, and just how much I felt the emotional stakes of the characters. I was on the edge of my seat many times. I was air punching to myself in moments of triumph. Just some of the most emotional investment I've had in what's going to happen in a story in a movie theater in a long, long time. So all of that to say, go see Godzilla Minus One. I think I'm going to more frequently make videos like this where I just talk about things I've seen, things that I like, as I was doing previously with Fiona and Cake. And I'm going to try to just pop these videos out ultra casually so it's not as much of a stressor for me. I literally just decided to make this video 5 minutes ago, and I'm probably going to edit and post it within the next half hour. So thank you for watching this, and hopefully you go see Godzilla Minus One. My main channel is Tall Skeleton. I have films, music videos, etc. that I direct on there, and yeah, have a nice night.